Welcome to my first ever YouTube video on this channel. So my name is Henry Daniel. I'm a producer currently based in London. I basically started this channel because I want to share all the different experiences I've had over the years in the music industry. I'll be making lots of different videos on advice, tutorial videos like how I make my tracks, and videos like this. I've always wanted to make YouTube videos, and now I think it's the perfect time with, you know, everyone being in quarantine. This is definitely the channel for you if you're somebody who's like wanting to start music, or somebody who's already doing music, or somebody who just wants to look at my beautiful face all day. There's gonna be a lot more videos like this, so make sure you stick around, subscribe, and we're gonna jump into the video now. So if you've read the title already, you know today I'm going to talk about how I achieved 1 million plays on Spotify and how you can do it too, basically. I'm going to talk about my track, Ride It, which as of right now has 950,000 streams, so just under a million, but it's growing pretty fast, so by the time you're watching this, it should have a million. I do have a track with 3 million, as you can see, but the reason I want to talk about this track is because it's the first track that I put out on my own label, New Wave. So technically it's like a self-release. If you're interested in being in my label, then I'll leave an email link below and you can send me your demos, and I'd love to hear them and check them out. So without further ado, let's talk about tip number 1. So it's going to sound extremely obvious and cliche, but your music has to sound good. Now, like, what do I mean by that? You're probably thinking music is subjective, like what I might think sounds good, you might think sounds shit, and vice versa. But what I really mean when I say music has to sound good is it has to be mixed well produced, the vocals need to be balanced, it needs to be mastered well. Because even if you've written, you know, the most catchy song in the world, if it doesn't sound well produced, and I'm a playlist curator hearing your song, and it doesn't fit with the rest of the vibe in the playlist, then I'm not going to add it and it's not going to get heard. And it does sound very obvious, but I've had a lot of people who've sent me demos, who've, you know, messaged me asking tips on how to grow their fan base and grow their numbers, and their music just doesn't sound good, and that's the harsh reality of it, unfortunately. So tip number 2, which also might seem quite obvious, but you have to look professional. Your social medias have to be consistent with what you're posting, a theme perhaps. Your cover artwork, your album artwork should look professional. Go to fiverr.com, find some graphic designers. There's loads of people out there looking for that kind of work. So, you know, for 10 quid, you can find a professional graphic designer for some good professional looking artwork. This is also good if you're looking to get signed. Make sure, you know, your bio is up to date, your emails are all there, everything looks professional and clean, because that's what labels are looking for as well. Tip number 3, you need to build hype around your release before it is released. Send it to all your friends, all your families, be posting about it constantly, because basically how Spotify's algorithm works is on the day of release, if lots of people are clicking on it and sharing it and adding it to their playlist, Spotify's algorithm recognizes this and starts adding it to New Music Friday or Discover Weekly for different users. This is a very good natural way to get streams, and it's something that's often overlooked by a lot of people because they think, you know, they can just pay for playlist promotion once they release it, and they don't worry too much about building, making a plan before the release, which is, like I said, really important. Now, the 4th thing and the most important thing I want to talk about is playlist placement. And I'm not talking about some playlist company that claims, you know, they can get your song on various different curated playlists by Spotify. You should never pay for those services because they just don't work. Either they're botted playlists, so the streams that you're getting aren't real, or they've just botted the followers to kind of like trap you into their trap. Here's the method that I've used and is proven to be successful. Basically, what you want to do is go to fans also like. So these are artists that people listen to who also listen to me. If you don't have this feature yet, if you haven't released on Spotify yet, then just make a list of 5 to 10 artists who you want to sound like, or who you aspire to be like, who have your sound, basically. So you want to go on any one of them and go to About. And if you go down here to Discovered On, you can see all the various different playlists that have made them popular, basically. So if we see this one here, Workout Music 2020. So Workout Music 2020, Gym Music, this is exactly the kind of music that I make, and it's proven to be effective. They have 235,000 followers, which is very good. They also have an email submission, which is perfect. So what I would do is I would start making a list of all these various different emails and add it to an email list. You want to do this maybe 20 times. You want to get maybe 20 to 30 playlists, and it does take a very long time because some of them don't have emails, as you can see. Like this one here doesn't have an email, this one doesn't have an email, so sometimes you have to dig a little bit deeper. Go on the latest sound, find them on Twitter, maybe see if they have an email submission there, something like that. So Yeah, that's one of the things you can do. The reason that this method is better than paying for somebody to be on your playlist is because you know that this is a legitimate playlist. You know that it doesn't have botted followers because it seems to be getting other people numbers, which, you know, is working. Now, what will happen is some of these playlists will just add it, and some of them will also email you back asking for money to be on their playlist. Now, I got approached by this one playlist curator offering me £40 to put my song at the top of their playlist for 2 weeks, which I accepted. These are the ones that you want to pay for because, like I mentioned earlier, these are proper playlists that has engaged followers, so it's definitely the ones that you want to go for. Now, this is good because not only will this get you plays directly, but also Spotify curators trawl through these playlists to look for other songs, and also the listeners listening to the music are gonna add it to their own personal playlists. Take a shot for every time I say playlist this video. It basically sets off a chain reaction of playlists upon playlists upon playlists. Drink. Spotify for Artists, if you have that set up, also has a feature where you can submit directly to Spotify curators. It's a very useful feature. As you can see, I've released on the 4th of December, which has already been submitted to these curated playlists. Now, I'm not sure how successful this method is. I haven't been using it for very long, but you should definitely do it anyway, just in case your song is good enough to be on one of these playlists. Tip number 5 is YouTube, and I don't mean just uploading it to YouTube and hopefully it gets big. I mean different channels that post your kind of music. So find your specific niche on the song that you've made. As you can see, Ryder is on several different channels, including my own, and these are good because people listen to these channels, they hear your song, and they add it to their own personal playlist. This isn't as good as my previous mentioned technique, but this is still a way to get more traction, because at the end of the day, it's about different people listening to music, adding to their playlists, and Spotify's algorithmic playlist recommending it to other people, if that makes any sense. Another tip, learn how Spotify's algorithm works, because that's very important. I can actually make a video on that if that's something you'd like to see. Now, tip number 6, which is a little bit sneaky, but it does work. It's not like the ethical way of getting plays, but it can still get you a lot of plays. So basically, what you want to do is pay for bots. No, I'm just kidding. You don't want to do that. You definitely don't want to do that. You want to go to Spotify and see what the most popular song in your genre is at the minute. So for me, it was the Iman Beck song, the remix. So that was extremely popular. It still is extremely popular to this day. So I didn't do it personally, but what happened was this. As you can see, if you go on my Spotify for Artists for Ride It, one of the most popular playlists was this Rose's Iman Beck playlist. You'll see what happens here. So when people click on this playlist and they want to hear this song, they'll play it. And if you put your song underneath, it will automatically skip to the next one. I know this is a method that a lot of record labels use. So what they would do is they'd say viral TikTok songs, and they'll do the first 10 will be viral TikTok songs, and then they'll throw in the releases from their own label underneath. It's a clever way. It's not the most ethical way, but it does definitely work. The main problem with this method is, although it does get you plays and it does get you money, it definitely doesn't help you build a fan base, which is ultimately what you want at the end of the day. Yes, it gives you good numbers, and numbers can get you clout, but what you want is real fans. You don't want numbers, because they mean nothing. They might get you money, but it's not the main goal. Now, I want to talk about some personal things that helped me get 1 million plays. So this might not apply to everyone, but it's what helped me. So first of all, I had a little bit of a following before this release. Now, I can't just say get a following before you release, because that's ridiculous, because that doesn't make any sense. But obviously having somewhat of a fan base did help push the track a little bit further. Another thing is that the song is a cover, and for some reason, covers do seem to perform very well on Spotify. I actually don't know why. Also, the genre of the song is also very popular on Spotify at the minute as well, with evidently the Iman Beck song, which is extremely popular at the minute. So the final thing is to basically keep momentum on your track. After, you don't want to post it and be tweeting and Facebooking about it the first day and then just let it sit, because that's not what you want to do. You want to be constantly keeping on top of it. If you want, I can make a part 2 onto how to keep the momentum going, because that's pretty much just as important as the pre-release. So make sure you stay consistent, keep posting, keep uploading new songs as well all the time. Keep sending it to DJs, keep sending it to your friends, keep sending it to other artists, get them to share it possibly, and just use the methods that I've taught you in this video to help you succeed, because you will get there eventually if you keep going and keep trying like I'm doing. So that kind of takes us to the end of the video. If you want more videos like this, please subscribe, let me know, leave a like, and I will, because I really enjoyed making this video, and I do think that everything that I've shared was informative and helpful. In the next part, I can also talk about how much money Spotify pays you for 1 million plays, because I know that's something that a lot of people have asked me, and that's something that a lot of people are genuinely interested in. So yeah, thank you so much if you made it to the end of the video and you've watched it the whole way through, and I hope to see you next time. Peace out.